Okay, welcome back everyone. The first lecture we have discussed about overview of the Pl-Sql and we have talked about Pl-Sql records. So we'll continue here. So I hope all of you have tried how to create a record as a variable and store the data and retrieve the data from that. If not, here we will do it practically. Okay, so let's go back to just give me a second. Okay. So now we are again at the screen where we can see how to write. Correct? Now let's see. First of all, a small revision, that is, what is a record? Is a composite variable. What do you mean by the composite variable? A variable which can store more than one values, or we can store more than one attribute and more than one value for a different attributes. So how to do that? So simply we'll start with declare, because we have to declare the variable here. So we say the declare. Then in the declare, what we have to do? We need a composite variable. Hence, we need a composite variable. Step one is create or declare the type first with the keyword type. So we'll say that type, then type name. You can give any name. I'm giving here T1. As type T1 is record. Correct? Now in the bracket, we can decide how many attributes we want to store here. Let's say I want to store the name, the data type of that, then after the name age, and data type of that, then we'll give the size. We'll close it. Now this line has declared the type of variable. This line has declared the type of variable. Now I'll use, let's say, the student as a variable. So for better understanding, we'll say here v student is a variable student. And what data type we'll give for this? That data type will be the what we have declared here. So we have declared as T. Very simple. Now v student is a variable which has a data type T1, and T1 we have declared a new data type that is a having two attributes. So simple here. So now step one is completed. Then we'll see the begin. Simple. Now in this begin, we'll assign the value to the student. So how do we assign here? V student. Usually what we use? Assignment operator, and we provide the value. But here, hence it is a composite variable, you have to use a dot operator for their fields. Dot name. Assign the value as Suresh. Same way we'll say here, v student dot age, assign the value as 22. Very simple. Now we have assigned. Now we'll check the value here. We'll say dbms underscore output dot put underscore line in bracket v student dot name concatenate with little space, concatenate with the student dot age. We'll close this. So simple. We'll say the end, close it, and simply we'll say the execute. Okay, we got the error here. We student dot name must be declared. Is anyone who can tell me where we have created the error here? Is a spelling mistake. So we will go back, we'll solve it. We student, we'll paste here. We student, we'll paste here, here, and here. So there should not be any spelling mistake. We'll close it, save it, execute again. You can see we got a result as Suresh 22. Very clear? So this is a composite variable. You can add composite variable which can have n number of values. So you can keep on adding n number of attributes in your type. Now, this composite variable are the two types of variables. One is a user defined. So what we have done right now is considered as a user defined variable. Very simple. Second thing is called as you can refer a table. So that is called as a reference variable. Reference variable is nothing but you can directly refer a table and use that attribute to declare your variable. Okay, so simply we'll do that as well here. So again, we'll go back. Okay, so I'll just remove everything. Okay, sorry. Are you able to see the screen? Yes. Okay, so I'll use here ED. It has opened, and I'll see the new share as. So now you are able to see the screen. Earlier, I'm sure you are not able to see the screens, but we have done it here. Now here, what we'll do, we'll say that declare type T1. Here we have user is record. We'll remove it. We'll use the table name to we want to refer. So let's say we want to refer the Bollywood. Simple. Now here, this can be of two types. One as a you are referring to a particular column from the Bollywood, or you are referring to an entire table of the Bollywood. But here, we never go for the type. We directly use that particular variable name, because type is already available in the Bollywood. So we'll say here, we student Bollywood dot name percent type. Okay, so now you have not given any data type, but the data type will be the same like this. So now here, simply I'll say that we student assign the value Suresh and we don't have an age, so I'm removing this right now. Simply here you can do another way also. This I have declared. Now we can use this, or you can reuse this as well. So now I'm just adding the 2 more lines here. I'll say select name from, sorry, we are not from, into vStudent from Hollywood, where ID equal to 1. Simple. Now here we just want to display the vStudent. And this also I'll copy here. And we'll say the end. Let's close it, save it. Okay, I'm sure the screen is visible. So what we have done, that has come up here. Now we'll execute it here. You will see we are getting 2 names, Suresh and Varun. Suresh, what we have assigned, Varun, what has come from the body. Simple here. I hope it's clear. Now, same way, we have a person row type. This what we have done. We have done a person type. Same way you have a person row type. Now in the person row type, you can define an entire row of the table. Okay, give me a second. Okay, you can see here. Now here, instead of person type, we will remove the dot name and we'll say the person row type. Now this vStudent is having an entire columns of the body. So simple here. So now I'm removing this from here. Clear? So after removing this, what will I do now? I'll just select star. Now I can use the star because I'm having an entire row in the body. And here we'll say vStudent dot name will concatenate with little space, and we'll say concatenate with vStudent dot age. You can use n number of things from the row, whatever you want to retract. Simple here. So let's come back here. Now, once I close this, everything has come in. Simple. Now, if I execute, you can see Varun 28. Clear? So this is the referenced variable. You can directly refer to a table from the to the variable. That's a. So mostly this question is asked, what is a person type and person row type? So what's the difference? Person type refer only a one column, whereas person row type refer entire book. Clear? So let's move ahead. So I think it is clear now. So we have a user defined record. We have discussed in a practical manner. Table based is a referenced. We have discussed that is a percent row type and percent type. Same way we have a cursor based. So that we'll discuss at the time of cursor. And simply we have created the practical as well. So this you have already seen. When you are assigning, you have to assign to the fields, not to the variable. Variable name, variable name dot age. So to access any field or record, we use a dot operator. Now, I think it is clear. Variable, non-PL-SQL variable. What we have discussed, that was a PL-SQL variable. So now it is a non-PL-SQL variables. So what's a PL-SQL variable? Which is defined within the block. And what is a non-PL-SQL variable? Which is defined outside the block, but you are accessing into the block. Simple here. Now, I'll give you the example. So in non-PL-SQL variable, we have one bind variable, one host variable. So bind and host are one is the same. When you are using the value from outside to in, that is a host variable. When you are passing the value from inside to out, that is a bind variable. So both are the same, two different names. Simple. So we'll give an example of that also. So let me clear this. Now here, I'll just declare a variable without using a begin or end. So I'm declaring the variable outside the block. So I'd say variable name varchar int. Simple here. Okay, some error I have done. Variable then okay. Variable name varchar. My laptop is giving a problem. Varchar 20. What's giving an error here? Variable variable. Okay, it's not getting type 20 here. It was typed. Varchar 2 20. I don't know what was the mistake, but I have not made any changes, but it has varchar it is not accepting, it is accepting the varchar 2. Okay. Now, if I say print name, in the name we don't have any value because it is just declared. Clear here? Now we'll say that begin. Now you will see that I have not started with the declare. I have started with the begin. That means I have not declared any variables here. So we'll say now select name. Now I want to select name into this variable. So I'll say colon name. So whenever you are using an outside variable, has to be accessed with the colon. From Bollywood where ID equal to 1. And I'll just say the end. And I'll execute. Now, can I say it has been executed? I have just taken the value. But where I have passed the value now? I have passed the value to the outside environment. So now we'll do the same thing here. Print name. You'll see that in the name we have a Varun. अब ये वरुण कब तक रहेगा? जब तक ये मेरा सेशन बंद नहीं होता. लेकिन जो वेरिएबल मेरा अंदर डिक्लेयर हुआ है वो कब तक रहेगा? As soon as block is finished, that also will get finished. It's clear? So this is called a bind and host variable. Now it was a bind variable. Now host variable is nothing but, let's say we'll do again the same thing. We'll say begin. Okay. Now I'll say select gender from, sorry, we will require one variable here. So this is not correct. We'll get an error. That's not a problem. So we'll say now declare. We'll declare v gender as char 1. V gender as a char 1. Then we'll say the begin, and I'll say now select v gender. So not v gender is a variable. So we'll say select gender into v gender. Select gender into v gender from Bollywood where name equal to colon name. What we have done it here? Here we are referring the value from outside. Correct? So now this will be the host value, and this is nothing but a bind value. So earlier what we have done here, where is that? Yes, this one. This was a bind value, and this is a host. Now we'll say dbms underscore output dot put underscore line v gender. Instead of that, we'll say here colon name on connect with space on connect with v gender. Very simple. I'll close this. We'll say the end, and we'll execute. We got some error. That error was, okay, I'll make a change first. This error was a semicolon. So I have made the change here. We'll execute. You will see we are getting a Varun. Varun we have not retrieved anywhere here. Varun, and we have retrieved the gender, so it is a gender N. Is clear to everyone? Yes. Okay, so let's move ahead. So non-PL-SQL variable is clear. Substitute variable. Now what's a substitute variable? Substitute variable is nothing but an ampersand. We use it here and symbol. Now this substitute variable is nothing which you want to use while executing the block. That means you are not providing the value at the time of writing a code, but while executing you want to. Simple. So that is a substitute variable. Okay, we can understand that as well. I'll close this here. Clear the screen. Now let's say I'll say here. Sorry. Declare. And I declare v name. Okay, that is a var char to. Okay, then I'll say begin. In the begin, what I'll do now, I'll just say select name into rename from Bollywood where ID equal to ampersand ID. What's ampersand ID? And there is no variable called as ampersand ID, but this ampersand is nothing but a substitution of the variable. So now this line is a temporary here. While executing, it will ask for the value of this, and value when you give this value, then it will replace this line and then it will send for compilation. Okay, now I'll say here ms underscore output dot put underscore line ms output dot put underscore line in bracket v and so end semicolon and execute. Now I'm executing this. See, it has asked me the enter value for ID. I give it 2. Now you can see it is giving you the information. Old was this, new was this. So second line has been sent for compilation. And we got the result as Priyanka. Because ID number 2 belongs to the Priyanka. Simple here. That is called a substitute variable. Clear? Let's move ahead. So I'm sure you don't have any questions, any doubts up till here. So all the parts of variable is clear to everyone. Now the control structure. Here we'll go faster because everybody knows what the control structure is. Control structure is in which structure your, in which way your program gets flowed. So we have 3 types of control structure: sequential, conditional, and iterative. Okay, sequence I have not written properly here. Sequence wise, you can say that sequential, conditional, and iterative. What is the meaning of sequential? Sequential means your program will flow line by line. First line, then second line, then third line, then fourth line, and up till the end of the your system. Simple. What is a conditional one? Everybody know about this. If, then, else. So when you're using if, then, else, it will work in a flow in a different way. If your condition is true, then this statement, else this. If it is false, then this statement, and then go to the next one. That is a conditional. What is iterative? Iterative will keep on repeating. You can call it as a loops. Loop means 1 to 8, then again 1, then 1 to 8, then again 1, 1 to 8. That is a iterative. So always program when you are writing, it always flow in this order. So where you are controlling your structure, that is up to you. Sequential, simply we write step by step. Now what all we have written, that was nothing but a step by step, correct? So first it was selecting the record, then it was putting into the variable, then it was displaying the variable. Step by step, that is a sequential. Now in conditional, let's say I want to display the name if name is not Priyanka. Correct? Now in our case, whatever the name comes, that will get printed. So no condition there. But if you want to go through the conditional, it will go according to the condition as well. Simple. Iterative is nothing but a loops. Now first is a conditional control. So now conditional control, I'm not going in detail. Everybody know it very well. If statement, else if statement, you can use it. That allow the control of the flow. If statement has a two forms, if and then, or if then else. Okay, so what is the difference between if then and then else? If then means if condition is true, then this, and else means if condition is not true, then that part will get executed. So simply we can if condition, then statement 1, 2, 3, and if. But this 1, 2, 3, when will it get executed? If your condition is true. So here, the reserved word if start your conditional control, and end if is end your conditional control. Very simple here. Now how it works? Start the if, condition true, then the statement will go. If the condition is false, it will go after the end. So simple here. Now when an if statement is executed, a condition is evaluated to either true or false. If condition evaluated as true, control pass the first executable statement of if statement, then construct. If the condition evaluated to false, the control is passed to the first executable statement after the end if statement. Now here I have shown you one example. Declare. Three variables are declared. Venum1, Venum2, Vtemp. Begin. After the begin, I have not written any statement. I use a if. If Venum1 greater than Venum2, Venum1 greater than Venum2, then Vtemp is equal to Venum1 and Venum1 equal to Venum2. Simple. And Venum2 assigned equal into Venum10. So what we have done it here, simply everybody know that there's nothing but a swapping. And then we say the end if. Now temp में Venum1 कब जाएगा अगर ये कंडीशन ट्रू हुई तो, नहीं हुई तो क्या होगा, जो जैसी वैल्यू है वैसी ही रहेगी. So in every case it is going to display the lower value first and higher value next. Simple. Try this yourself, and if you feel any issue, any problem, ask in the office. And in the next lecture, we'll do this in a practical form. Clear here? So now I'm sure you are very comfortable with variables, comfortable with composite variables and are comfortable with a if then or if then else. Okay, so see you in the next lecture.